Very disappointing news for John Cena. Roman Reigns recruits a new Wiseman. Randy Orton dethrones John Cena at Backlash. Randy Orton's embarrassing comment on WWE. Triple H's backstage politics affects Randy Orton. The WWE is making a massive mistake with Bianca Belair. Naomi breaks silence after an embarrassing botch on SmackDown. The Rock and Triple H's backstage politics causing chaos. Triple H and Stephanie McMahon starting a new wrestling company? Let's dive right in. Roman Reigns recruits a new Wiseman. The post-WrestleMania edition of WWE Smackdown was an eventful show. The episode saw John Cena cut another powerful promo, only to be laid out by Randy Orton once again. Elsewhere, Aleister Black made his much-awaited return to WWE. The company also teased several new feuds for its next premium live event, Backlash, on this week's WWE Smackdown. It will be of interest to see how things unfold in the company in the coming days. To feed into the curiosities, here are 4 bold predictions for WWE after SmackDown. Number 1. Nia Jax could challenge Tiffany Stratton for the WWE Women's title. Tiffany Stratton locked horns with Jade Cargill on this week's SmackDown. However, the match ended in a disqualification win for the Storm after she was attacked by Naomi. Things turned more chaotic as Nia Jax appeared to blindside Tiffany Stratton, attacking the buff Barbie following that. The irresistible force took out Tiffy before raising the title high. Given how things unfolded, Nia could be next to challenge Tiffany for the WWE Women's title. Number 2. Jacob Fatu could lose his title due to Solo Sikoa. Drew McIntyre took on LA Knight on Friday's SmackDown to determine the number 1 contender for the United States title. However, Damian Priest interfered in the match to take out Drew McIntyre. Following that, Knight engaged in a verbal spat with the Archer of Infamy. However, both men were taken out by Jacob Fatu, who stood tall over all 3 men to end the segment. Given how things unfolded, the Samoan Werewolf could be involved in a 4-way feud with Drew, Knight, and Priest, leading to a fatal 4-way match for the United States title at Backlash. If so, Jacob may lose his title due to Solo Sikoa. The Street Champion could betray Fatu to cost him the United States gold. Number 3. John Cena could lose his title. John Cena was laid out once again by Randy Orton by a vicious RKO. The Cenation leader will now defend his undisputed WWE title against the Viper at Backlash. However, Cena could drop the gold to Orton due to interference from Cody Rhodes. The American Nightmare could return at the event to exact revenge on the franchise player, costing him a potential win. Number 4. Roman Reigns could recruit a new Wiseman, Enforcer, and right-hand man. Roman Reigns was betrayed by his Wiseman, Paul Heyman, at WrestleMania 41. Following that, he was taken out by Seth Rollins and his new accomplice, Braun Breaker, on this week's Raw. While One Direction could see Reigns reuniting with CM Punk to fight Seth Rollins' new faction, that may not be the case. Given his animosity with the best in the world, Roman may deny joining forces with Punk and form his own faction to fight Rollins and Koporo. The OTC's potential faction could feature Rikishi, Jimmy Uso, and Hikuleo. While Rikishi could be Roman's new Wiseman, Hikuleo, who is Tama Tonga's half-brother, could be the Enforcer. Meanwhile, Jimmy Uso could be Reigns' new right-hand man in the company. Randy Orton dethrones John Cena at Backlash. John Cena shocked the world by becoming a record-breaking 17-time WWE champion after defeating Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 41 in Las Vegas. Backlash 2025 will follow WrestleMania as the next premium live event on the Stamford-based promotion's calendar. WWE has officially confirmed that John Cena will defend his title against his arch-rival Randy Orton at the PLE on May 10th. Although the last real champion is an odd favorite to retain his title against Orton, if the Apex Predator can pull the trigger and defeat Cena, it would mark a historic title change. During the build-up to his WrestleMania match against Cody Rhodes, the Cenation leader vowed to ruin professional wrestling. Cena could keep up to his promise by delivering yet another lackluster performance, ultimately losing and later revealing that he shattered all the hopes fans had with his retirement tour, killing professional wrestling by tarnishing fans' expectations. The final boss played an important role in John Cena's heel turn. The Cenation leader turned heel after Cody Rhodes rejected The Rock's lure to sell his soul at the 2025 Elimination Chamber. Cena, alongside Travis Scott and The Rock, attacked the American Nightmare and left him bloodied in the ring. Since then, the Great One hasn't made any appearances on WWE television. If somehow Randy Orton manages to beat Cena at Backlash 2025, the final boss could return to punish the Apex Predator. It would further lay the foundation for Cody Rhodes' comeback to assist his mentor. Since Cody Rhodes became the Stamford-based promotion's top star, Randy Orton has been an odd favorite as his dream opponents among fans. Both superstars even share a significant history. The Orton-Rhodes saga could be a blockbuster hit if booked correctly. The Apex Predator winning the WWE Championship by defeating Cena at 2025 Backlash would open doors for a dream feud. Rhodes could initiate a rivalry with his mentor, Randy Orton. Randy Orton's embarrassing comment on WWE. Former WWE head writer Vince Russo recently shared his thoughts on Randy Orton's video discussing ticket prices. A recent video of Randy Orton meeting a fan surfaced on social media. In the clip posted online, the Viper was discussing the WrestleMania ticket prices. He was genuinely shocked to hear that some tickets were going up to $30,000. Randy was embarrassed that fans had to pay so much money for a seat at the show. This week on Bro Down with host Mac Davis, Russo explained that the trend of highly priced tickets emerged after the TKO takeover. He blamed the fans too, saying that by paying the steep prices, they encouraged the trend. The veteran writer noted that as long as fans keep buying, WWE will keep raising prices on tickets and merchandise. It's TKO. They're an entertainment company. I mean, this is what they do. This all happened after the sale. This is what they do. But Mac, here's the problem. They keep paying, man. And as long as they keep paying, those prices are going to continue to go up like anything else. Triple H's backstage politics affects Randy Orton. A former WWE manager gave his honest opinion about Randy Orton's match at WrestleMania 41, alleging that Triple H might have been involved in a backstage politicking move. Orton faced Joe Hendry in Las Vegas, beating the TNA World Champion in 3 minutes. The Viper was supposed to face Kevin Owens at the Show of Shows this year, but a neck injury forced the prizefighter to pull out of his match. This left the Legend Killer suddenly without a match at what would have been a major milestone for him. This would have been match number 20 at the grandest stage of them all for the 14-time world champion. Hence, Orton decided to have an open challenge in Las Vegas, with Hendry answering the call. Joe's entry garnered a huge ovation from the fans in attendance. However, the match lasted just 3 minutes after Orton hit the RKO out of nowhere when Hendry was doing his trademark turnaround for the crowd. Speaking on his Storytime podcast, Dutch Mantell discussed what transpired between Randy Orton and Joe Hendry. I think they did a little politicking with TNA and got Hendry there. He didn't really do anything. It was just a body for Orton, and you close your eyes and the match is gone. Orton kind of got himself over, and I did like the double RKOs. I like that, but it was a match for Randy Orton. But I don't think many of the people knew who Hendry was, Mantell said. Dutch Mantell's co-host James Romero did point out the loud pop from the WWE Universe for Joe Hendry, but the longtime wrestling veteran thought it could have been piped in by WWE. In addition to his comments, Dutch Mantell thought that the TNA World Champion losing in 3 minutes to Randy Orton wasn't helpful to TNA wrestling. He even called them 4 tiers below WWE as a promotion. I don't think it helps them that much getting their champion beat. So, that does make them not 2nd tier, but like 4th tier down. Joe Hendry, with that smile. And you want to slap him when he turned around and he's got that smile on, Mantell said. Despite what some fans, or a wrestling legend in this instance, thought of his short WrestleMania match, Joe Hendry had a lot of positive things to say about the entire experience. The WWE is making a massive mistake with Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair is one of the top female superstars in WWE today. However, a wrestling veteran believes the company is making a massive mistake with the EST. The 36-year-old is considered among the top babyfaces in the promotion. Nevertheless, she was recently booed as she feuded with Rhea Ripley and Sky over the Women's World Championship. On the Coach and Bro show, a fan asked if the EST's gimmick has become stale. In response, former WWE head writer Vince Russo suggested Belair must change her on-screen character. The 64-year-old disclosed that he likes Belair's out-of-character personality, stating that she is smart. Meanwhile, he pointed out that she was a blue-chip athlete in college, dubbing her the real deal. Nevertheless, he criticized WWE for giving her a cartoon character instead of letting her be herself and magnify it. What do they do, bro? They put this gimmick on her where she's talking, the head and the street talk. And bro, there is a problem when I see you in an interview and I like you and then you're on television as a babyface and I don't like you, he continued. There is a problem. And what you're doing is you're forcing a gimmick on her and a personality on her that is not really her. It's a cartoon. So, you're not buying it. And you're not buying into her rather than let her be herself and magnify it 1,000 times over, he said. On the second night of WrestleMania 41, Bianca Belair failed to capture the Women's World Championship as Sky successfully retained the title. Meanwhile, the EST suffered a legitimate injury during the match. Last Friday on SmackDown, the former WWE Women's Champion addressed her injury in a backstage interview with Byron Saxton, disclosing that she had broken a few fingers. Yeah, I walked through WrestleMania with a couple of broken fingers, but it was all worth it. We all fought to the end and things may not have gone my way, but at least I can say that I'm proud of what the 3 of us were able to do at WrestleMania, she said. As Belair also seemingly teased playing a role in Naomi and Jade Cargill's storyline, some suggested she might turn heel inside with the glow. It would be interesting to see if that would happen. Naomi breaks silence after an embarrassing botch on SmackDown. Naomi was involved in an embarrassing botch on WWE Smackdown this past Friday. However, the sequence has seemingly not dampened the glow's spirits, as she reacted assertively to the botch. The 37-year-old 29-year-old was in action at WrestleMania 41, where she suffered a loss to Jade Cargill in a singles match. However, the feud between the two continued on SmackDown this week, where Naomi attacked Jade during her match against Tiffany Stratton. The post-match brawl also saw the return of Nia Jax, who attacked the WWE Women's Champion. During her brawl with Jade, the real-life Bloodline member was involved in a botch, as a fan video showed that none of her punches landed on the former AEW star. However, she made it clear that the next time, she would bust Cargill's nose and not her forehead, as she shared a hilarious edit of the botch. "Next time, noses will be bust and foreheads hella knotted," she posted on X. Naomi shared a close bond with Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair a few months back. However, the group was broken after the Queen of Glow was revealed as Jade's mystery attacker. This also led to differences between the real-life Bloodline member and the EST, as the latter was not happy with her partner's actions. Despite their issues, Naomi has continued to push for a reunion with Bianca Belair. She sent a message to her former partner on Instagram after the latter revealed her hand injury. The Glow has been doing some of the best work of her career since turning heel. Many believe that WWE should reward her by having her win the Money in the Bank this year. However, there are still a couple of months to go for the event. The Rock and Triple H's backstage politics causing chaos. The Rock and Triple H have been two of the most talked about people in WWE since WrestleMania 41. In a recent podcast episode, Hall of Famer Eric Bischoff addressed speculation about the former in-ring rivals' relationship. After surprisingly missing WrestleMania 41, The Rock said he did not appear because he wanted the focus to be on Cody Rhodes and John Cena. The Hollywood star's absence received backlash online, with many fans questioning why his final boss character skipped WWE's biggest event. On his 83rd Weeks podcast, Bischoff acknowledged that The Rock's alliance with Cena and rapper Travis Scott at Elimination Chamber now lacks logic. He also sympathized with WWE Chief Content Officer Triple H. "I wouldn't want to be Triple H," Bischoff said. "He took a lot of heat, and maybe he deserved it, maybe he didn't. I think that politics are pretty obvious here. Again, because of who Rock is and the gravitational pull and the success that comes with him, generally speaking, I think there was an accommodation made that they wish they wouldn't have made because it wasn't well thought out." Cena defeated Rhodes at WrestleMania 41 to win the undisputed WWE Championship. Many expected The Rock to interfere, but Travis Scott appeared during the match instead and assisted the franchise player. After missing WrestleMania 41, The Rock said on the Pat McAfee show that he only appeared at Elimination Chamber to boost ticket sales. He also revealed he agreed to the request after receiving a phone call from Ari Emanuel, the CEO of WWE's parent company, TKO. Asked if Triple H might have told Emanuel to make the call, Eric Bischoff said the idea was likely discussed between several higher-ups. "I have no idea. Maybe. I doubt it. But I do think a plausible scenario would be Ari, Nick, Khan, Triple H, probably Bruce Pritchard, any number of other people associated would have had a meeting and said something to the effect of, 'How are we doing at Elimination Chamber?' If the response came back as, 'Soft, we're not doing as well as we thought we would or we could,' then I think the next natural step would be, 'What can we do?' Somebody throws out a Rock card, and Ari picks up the phone and calls Rock. Triple H and Stephanie McMahon starting a new wrestling company? A wrestling veteran believes Triple H's run in WWE might soon come to an end. He suggested that the Game and his wife, Stephanie McMahon, would start a new wrestling company if the current chief content officer was forced out of the Stamford-based promotion. On the Coach and Bro show, former interim Raw general manager Jonathan Coachman and former WWE head writer Vince Russo discussed the future of Triple H. They claimed the Game and The Rock dislike each other, speculating that the final boss was plotting to remove the chief content officer. When a fan asked if Triple H would more likely work with Tony Khan or Vince McMahon if he got forced out of WWE, Coachman picked the former WWE chairman. However, Russo disclosed that he believes Triple H's relationship with McMahon is currently non-existent. He predicted that the Game and Stephanie McMahon would probably start their own wrestling company. "Yeah, I would say that too, but I think the relationship with VKM is non-existent. I think Triple H and Stephanie would start their own wrestling company. They got all the money in the world to do it," he said. On the same episode of the Coach and Bro show, Vince Russo addressed the multiple legal issues Vince McMahon is currently facing, pointing out that people would always think of the former chairman when they see his daughter Stephanie and son-in-law Triple H. The former WWE head writer claimed the company might have to cut ties with the Game and the billion-dollar princess if McMahon is found guilty, or if other legal issues regarding the 79-year-old come to the surface. These are the things you have to look at, because as long as Triple H is around, as long as we see Stephanie, you're thinking Vince. That's Vince McMahon's son-in-law. That's Vince McMahon's daughter. If Vince is ever found guilty and a lot more stuff comes out, you really want a McMahon associated with your company? Russo said. Very disappointing news for John Cena. John Cena etched his name in the books after winning the 17th WWE Championship by defeating Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 41 in Las Vegas. The last real champion had vowed that he would ruin professional wrestling. 2025 Backlash will be the next premium live event following WrestleMania 41. The latest episode of Smackdown confirmed the massive title match for the event, where John Cena will make his first title defense against his arch-rival Randy Orton, who RKO'd him in a row on Raw and the Blue Brand this week, kicking off the new season in the Stamford-based promotion. With only 26 dates remaining on his calendar for his final WWE run, fans are curious about when John Cena will next appear and continue the build-up for his match against the Viper. According to the official WWE page, John Cena will now return on May 9th for the go-home edition of SmackDown before Backlash 2025 at the Nutter Center in Dayton. The last real champion is not scheduled to appear on any other weekly show before that. The final boss recently appeared on the Pat McAfee show and discussed his absence from WWE. While speaking, the People's Champion also reacted to Cena's 17th title victory. The Rock expressed that Cena has achieved GOAT status after winning at WrestleMania and has also moved up in his pro wrestling Mount Rushmore. Let's start with the ending, and let's start with John becoming the 17-time heavyweight champion and becoming legitimizing himself as being, without question, the GOAT. Period. He's on Mount Rushmore now. John raising that title, that was the bottom line. That was the North Star, and I loved it, and I love that moment. I think he's going to go on to have this insane run as a heel, The Rock said. With Cena vs. Orton officially announced for the upcoming Backlash PLE, it will be interesting to see how the saga unfolds in the weeks ahead and who emerges victorious among the arch rivals.